Hello, and welcome to the Unleashing the Power of Women Voices events. My name is Ramonda, and I am so excited to have you here for another incredible event. Today, you are going to be meeting some of our amazing speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. These are the speakers from all around the world who are here to inspire you, empower you, and help you create a difference in your life. Now, if you are joining us here live or on replay, leave a comment below. Let us know where in the world you're joining from. And I'm so thrilled because we are getting nearer to the Women Thrive Summit, which is our annual women empowerment event that happens every year. And it is happening on between the 17th and the 21st of March in next year in 2025. So today, you can expect some amazing speakers from all around the world. We've got ladies joining from Australia, Turkey, United States, Europe. I'm joining you from Spain. So what I want you to do is leave a comment below. Let us know where in the world you're watching from, because as you have gathered, we have truly international community. Now, when I woke up this morning and I was thinking about today's event, what to expect, and I was reminded that every event has its own particular theme. So I don't know what to expect yet, but every single event has a theme running through it. So as you start to tap in, as we start to bring our speakers on board, you probably realize that there is always a theme to the day. Now, I just sent out an email to our mailing list and I say, speakers speak. And this is what I was taught by my mentor, Les Brown. He used to say, speakers speak. And that means putting yourself out there, doing the practice, especially if you're wanting to be a speaker, or if that relates to any other area of your life that you need to practice your craft. You don't become an expert, or you don't become the greatest of all time in an area if you don't do the thing, right? So many people say, hey, I want to become a tennis player, or I want to become an athlete, or I want to become a speaker, but they don't put in the work. And what you'll see today is our speakers putting in the work. They showing up. They're here to inspire you. They're here to share their stories. And you got to put in the work. I know that so many people these days want to get to success really quickly. They just want to shoot to the top. And whilst it would be amazing to achieve quick success, the truth is you need to go through the steps. And I tell you what, having been in business for quite some time, probably nearly 15 years, I know now that there is no magic in getting to success in a shortcut. I know that the magic lays in the experience, in the leading up to the success. This is where, when you're starting to overcome challenges, defeats, when you face against up some kind of challenge, what happens is that these are your defining moments. These are the moments that will test you. They may want to break you, but they're not here to break you. They're here to test you. They're here to make you more resilient, better, and learn some lessons. So I know that the most magic is in the making, it's in the process, it's in the doing. So never be afraid the action, the doing, the process, the showing up. And that's why today is all about our speakers showing up, doing their craft, doing their art, sharing their message with you, and also sharing some of the secrets or some stories that has taken them to overcome challenges, barriers, and struggles, because they have not got to where they are today by easy flying through life. That is not true. We never really get through life without getting scathed. So if you can relate to this and you have been through some life challenges yourself, just put me too in the comments below, because I know personally I've been through life challenges. I've been through some things that, nearly broke me. And yet we are still here. And I always say that I wouldn't be able to do what I do as far as creating these communities and events and planning for things, holding space for so many women, without having been through some of the challenges, without having been through life's trials and tribulations. And even behind the scenes, I was speaking to Gail and Nikki and Marcy, and I see them already in the green room. I was saying that, look, things will go wrong in life. That is inevitable. And when I woke up this morning, some ladies sent me a messages that their Wi-Fi is not working, that they had storm, that for some reason they might not be able to jump in. And I'm always ready for it, because when you work in events, you always know that something potentially will go wrong. So it's almost like you plan for the unexpected. You plan for things to go wrong. And that's the same in life, right? It's the same in life, that plan for things to go wrong, because chances are something may go wrong. But if you expect everything to go perfect, you will be highly disappointed. So instead of being disappointed, just prepare that it doesn't matter what goes wrong in my life. I know I've got this. I know I can handle the storm. I know I'm strong enough. And only by facing storm after storm after storm, you'll be able to build that resilience, and you'll be able to know and trust yourself that I've got this. I've got me. And that's why I am the best at what I do, because I've gone through the challenges every step of the way. I see some lovely ladies joining us, and welcome. Lenore is joining us from Bangkok, living in Bangkok, and she's from Canada. Amazing. Welcome. Good afternoon for you. We've got Gwenda joining. Thank you, Lenore. So we've got Gwenda from Hill. Great to see Rhonda joining from Perth, Western Australia. So Gwenda has a TV show on Women Thrive stage that she streams on Tuesdays, I believe. But here we are. So today we're streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and a couple other platforms, and of course our own internal event. So you're all welcome to participate. If you may feel like, what's going on? How many people in the room? Don't worry, participate, because we've got people tapping in on all these different platforms, and they're all watching and interacting with each other. So thank you so much. Wealth Academy Africa from South Africa live. Amazing. Good to see you. I love that we have international community and of course international speakers. Olamide is, thank you for caring about women. Thank you so much for saying that. This is truly our mission within the Women Thrive. Our mission is to spotlight women's voices on our stage and globally, for women to come together and share our wisdom, share our experiences, talk about things that perhaps mainstream media isn't speaking. We aim to create a safe, supportive, and encouraging space for women to thrive. And we do that through Power of Events, one of which is Unleashing the Power of Women Voices event that is held every third Thursday of the month. We do networking events on the first Thursday of the month. We also do our annual Women Empowerment event, Women Thrive, who today you're going to meet the speakers of this event. We have a magazine, we've got books, so many different platforms for our audience to be inspired, to be encouraged, to participate, to meet others in our community, and to feel like they belong. And I believe that if we can have a safe space, supportive space, encouraging space, place where we feel like we can dream bigger, we can aim higher, what happens is it'll make you want to grow outside of your comfort zone and have bigger vision, create bigger dreams for yourself, and therefore achieve them. I know I wouldn't have been able to do what I do today without the support of community, and also without other women trailblazing before me. So women who have done similar things, and watching them as examples and taking inspiration for my own business, for my own vision. So I'm really thrilled that I've had that support and also the example. And hopefully today you'll get to experience that by observing others, learning from their stories, and being inspired. So stick around. We've got around 8 to 9 speakers today. I'm the solo host, so come and support me, come hang out with us. And I have something written on my t-shirt, and I chose this t-shirt purposely because I love this t-shirt, but what it says even more. So it says, break the mold. So break the mold means let's get through the barriers. Let's get to the other side. There is so much we as women collectively can do to break the mold. If somebody has told you that it's not possible, you can't do it, it's not possible for us women to do it, just know, and what today you're going to observe is women who have broken the mold in their own industries, broken limitations, whether of their own mind, their environment. They have broken through the mold, and this is what we're here to do. So, if you're ready, give me one in the chat. If you're ready to meet one of our first speakers today, interact in the chat. You're very, very welcome. So, put one in the chat if you are ready to begin. Now, I'd love to invite my first speaker for today. I'm very excited to meet her. So, Nikki Hillhouse is an experienced meditation teacher, mind detox practitioner, therapeutic coach, and retreat facilitator. With extensive background in holistic health, Nikki's mission is to help and empower others to overcome their most challenging obstacles and start living happier, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. Nikki, hello, welcome. Where are you joining from?
Hi, good morning, Ramonda. I'm joining from a stormy Turkey, but hence the phone. I'm using the phone, and I remember you just talking about, riding the storms. I'm riding the storm today. I'm just going to use my phone and put my headphones in, and we should do this. So yeah, I'm joining from
Amazing.
Turkey.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying in the making, right? In display that you will face challenges, you will face obstacles, but here you are showing up. So super amazed. So Nikki, over to you. I'm really looking forward to seeing you.
Thanks, Ramonda. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm just pleased that I can actually join you this morning, and for technology, for headphones. Ladies, do you sometimes feel confused and you're not sure what trajectory your life is taking? And sometimes you almost have this sense of there must be more to life than this. Do you know, I meet a lot of people who have goals, they've got these ambitions, they have these dreams, but they're unable to take action. They're unable to move forward because they're listening to all this inner dialogue. The one that goes like this: I'm not smart enough. I don't know if I can do this. I'm not healthy enough. What if I fail? We have got to flip that script. We've got to flip that inner dialogue to, what if I succeed? What if I make a success of this? I am healthy enough. I am more than capable. I am smart enough. You know, a lot of people are listening to the voice in the head rather than listening to the heart. Our heart knows the answers. It knows what we truly want, what we truly desire, but we're often not following our heart. And I like to call this our unheard heart. You know, when you keep doing things that you know that are not good for you, but you do it anyway. You may be in a relationship that does not fulfill you anymore. There's no support there. You may be in a job that it doesn't pay well enough. It doesn't light you up. You get up each morning and there's just no passion, there's no drive to move forward in that job. Or you may be eating unhealthy foods, eating that chocolate cake again that you know is not good for you because you're not losing the weight. But we keep doing it anyway. And this stems from a number of deep seated beliefs that we've picked up along the way. When I was younger, and a teenager especially, I used to hide myself away in my room. I was always told that I was the quiet one in the family, that I was the sensitive one. And all that did was reinforce the belief in me that I was the quiet one and that somehow I was different. So I hid myself away for many, many years, not being who I truly was. I was literally being the person that everybody said that I was. Say someone has this amazing idea, they've got this vision, something they really want to create, something they really want to do. But then these nagging doubts kick in and they start saying things like, well, don't know if this is a good idea anymore. What's the point? I may fail at this. As soon as they start talking like that, they're planting these really unhealthy seed beliefs. And what you focus on grows. So, what do you think is going to happen if you're talking like that? However, if you plant these really healthy seed beliefs of, I am going to make a success of this, I am good to do this, yes, I am. you're planting these really beautiful, healthy seed beliefs. A bit like when you plant your seeds in the soil, and you give them sunshine and water. What happens? They flourish. It turns into these beautiful blooms and plants and flowers. So the fact that you're planting a really healthy seed belief that you want to create and you want to do something means that you will do it. You might not know how you're going to do it. The how takes care of itself. If we just move out the way, the how will take care of itself. Now, I remember about 9-10 years ago, I was at a wellness retreat in Turkey. And it was like a juice detox retreat. And I had gone there really just for some support because I started on my own wellness journey. And I was watching the guy that was facilitating the class. We had this like workshop group. And I was looking at him and I was going, do you know what? If he can do this, then so can I. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to host my own holistic well-being retreats. I'm going to share with people everything that I know on my journey moving forward to health and healing. Because when I was at that retreat, I had literally just weaned off morphine. And that was one of the 12 drugs that I was taking for chronic pain. These were prescribed drugs that I'd been taking for 15 years. And I made a decision that I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to find a holistic way of healing my body. So in that moment, at that retreat, that's when I decided that this is what I want to do. I want to educate others. I'm going to host wellness retreats on well-being. I didn't have a clue how I was going to do it, when, where. Like I say, the how will take care of itself. So we're now in November, and 2 months ago in September, I was sitting at the most beautiful venue here in Turkey, and I was hosting my own wellness retreat. And I was chatting to a lady who was one of my guests, and she was the same lady that I met 9 years previous on the juice detox retreat that we both attended. And she actually came over and she was one of my practitioners. So my message for you is believe in yourself. Know that all things are possible. That's the logo on my website. All things are possible. You get to be the composer, the creator of your life. Do not bring your past into your present because that molds your future. Why don't you create a beautiful masterpiece? It's the one thing that you can do today, one action, one healthy belief seed that you can plant that will help you to move forward in creating the dream life that you truly desire and you deserve. I see life a little bit like this. There's 3 kinds of people in this world. There's people that make things happen. There's people that watch things happen. And there's people that wonder what happened. Which one are you? Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I really look forward to connecting with you all again. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Wow, Nika, what a way to kick off our showcase today. Thank you so much. Thank you for persevering with us through the storm to be here and share this powerful message.
Thank you. I'm just glad it all went and I didn't get kicked off or anything. So thank you.
Amazing. Your message really stood out for me. It's like how you nurture those seeds, and it really starts at the ground level. And it's true because a lot of our audience, I'm sure, would agree that words have been spoken into them at the early age. And many times it was words of limitations because of, our parents or those around us may have been carrying their own limitations. And therefore, their belief in us have created our belief in ourselves or disbelief of ourselves or who we are. So such a powerful message that you can still change that and nurture a different seed inside of you. And I think this is why being part of events and communities like this, that seeds of hope, seeds of inspiration, seeds of belief are being sowed into you, just what you've just done, Nikki. How do people can connect with you if they wanted to follow up?
Just my name, Nikki Hillhouse. I'm on all social media platforms, and my website is nikkihillhouse.com. You can connect with me there.
And what do you do when you help your clients? What is it that you mainly offer?
I help my clients. I always sort of refer to myself a bit like a gardener. I help them to pull up the weeds. We get to the root cause of why they're not moving forward with their life, why it is that they want to do something, but there's something stopping them. There's these unhealthy beliefs. There may be health conditions. There may be persistent life problems going on. So I help them to literally do the work themselves. I'm just there holding space. We've all got the key. We've all got the key. We know what to do. I'm just there holding a space for them, guiding them to really just, live their life to full potential. A life that they truly deserve. Every single one of us deserves the best life ever. And just sometimes, like we was talking about beliefs, the seed beliefs, planting the unhealthy beliefs, because beliefs all exist and operate in the unconscious mind. So it's really just a lot of the layers that get, on top of each other over the years. So I just help them to peel back the layers really and come back to the true authentic self.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, Nikki, this was a pleasure to have you here on stage today, and I hope storm clears up and the sunshine comes back over there in Turkey again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you. So amazing. Well, what a way to kick off our event with our first speaker, Nikki. So if you feel inspired, do make sure you connect with our speakers today, and you will see their information on the screen. Okay, my next speaker, I think you will be blown away by this lady. I have certainly when I heard her story and the things that she have had to overcome in her life. So my next speaker is 𝐷𝐸Z𝐬, who's an orgasm coach. Yes, you heard that right. She's trauma and transgenerational healing specialist and the founder of Conscious Women Academy. With her unique holistic Empress O method, she empowers women to break free from limitations of their past, rewrite their old stories, and unleash their full potential to create a life that they truly desire. I'm sure 𝐷𝐸Z𝐬 will share a little bit more about her story and her powerful message today with us. 𝐷𝐸Z𝐬, hello, welcome.
Hello, good morning. And I'm also so excited. And I also had a little storm just right inside of me. And then how I was preparing. So I started to listen to you. And then you said about the tech issues. And I just wanted to connect to this room. And somehow my computer said that the browser doesn't support this. So I immediately tried to solve in another laptop, but I also had some issues, so somehow I solved it. But I had a little more excitement about that I made it.
Amazing, amazing. We just lost 𝐷𝐸Z𝐬. Speaking about tech. 𝐷𝐸Z𝐬, where are you joining us from?
I'm joining right now from Budapest, from Hungary.
From Hungary. Amazing, amazing. I love a diverse community, and we are getting to do this from all around the world. So if you're watching this, let me know where you're watching us from. That would be amazing. I know we've shared that earlier. 𝐷𝐸Z𝐬, I won't even ask what to expect from your talk today, but so I'll just let you dive in and I'll come back at the end. But look, we're all riding a storm, and you said there is internal storm that you had to overcome, not external today, which I'm looking forward to hearing about. So over to you. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you very much. And I would like to also tell you that good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are joining, or if you are watching the replay. And I would like to ask with a question that how often do you go through life on an autopilot or disconnected from these rich experiences of your senses? And what if the key of healing, empowerment, and fulfillment is right here in your ability to fully feel and embrace life through your senses? And I remember when I was a little girl, and I was very sensitive, especially for smelling the food, the stinky things, and immediately I'm reacting on that. And when I was smelling the adults, and I was also feeling their energies through their smell. And of course, I immediately expressed my feelings, and of course, my honesty could be very painful sometimes. And my parents expressed that I was a bad girl, and I ashamed them. And I remember when we were with other people on the table, and I smelled the food, and even before I tasted, I told to my mom that I don't like it. And then I was like, ah. And I was told, you should eat, you shouldn't know before you are tasting. And sometimes I did a tantrum, and my dad pushed, eat, you have to eat it, otherwise you cannot get anything else. And sometimes I didn't eat it, but sometimes I was very hungry, so I ate it. And after that, I got sick. And the more I pushed to do things against my sensations, against my what I felt right for myself, that and it was at that moment, it was my truth. The message from my body I started to ignore, and I started to ignore and suppressed her messages. And I also pushed down my sensations. I don't know whether you can relate to this. And if you are just thinking about what was the last time when you truly listened to your body and acknowledge its sensations without any judgment, no matter what others told you. And I remember that around 20 years ago, when I started to go my deep inner journey, I started to learn more about the sacred sexuality and how important it is to awaken our senses, and also fine-tuning and working with the senses. And suddenly all of these suppressed childhood memories just came out like a volcano. And I just realized that how I disconnected from my body and from the message of my body, from my senses. And like many women, I carried this invisible weight of ignorance, shame, these power games that I was a little girl, and then my word was not as powerful as the adult, and everyone else knew better than me that what was good for me. And so I had forgotten how I truly feel and how I trust my body, how to honor my desires, my basic needs, and which like nurturing my body, how to properly nurture my body. And during these profound moments on my personal healing journey, once one of my mentors asked me that when was the last time when you truly listened to your body, and not with your mind, but with your senses? And that question, that's why I also asked you that, just to remember, just to be more conscious about that, how important it is to really connecting with yourself and with the world through all of your senses. And I started to explore more the ancient practices that reawaken my sensory awareness, like touch, taste, smell, sound, and even my intuitive sense, which were often silenced. And it was through this awakening I discovered the incredible power of our sensuality, which is not a kind of like equal to sexuality. And sensuality is opening our intimacy, and how we can be the present moment, how we can feel safe in our body, and how to embrace also my feminine essence without apology. And over the time, I created, and now I'm teaching this Empress O method. It's a holistic approach that has helped thousands of women all around the world reclaim their power, and also healing from their traumas, from the shame, and also started to rediscover the joy. And for as a closing question, I would like to ask you that how often do you pause to fully experience the present moment through your senses, savoring the meal, feeling the warmth of the sun, or hearing the rhythm of your breath? And your breath, and or instead of expecting your partner to touch you because you missed a touch, how many times you touch yourself gently, or even hug yourself? Or how often do you smell something, like really deeply smelling inside? And now I have this beautiful rose water, and I'm just smelling, and then I'm kind of like I'm feeling it's fulfilling my body, and I can be more present in my body, more present here. And I'm inviting you to start in this moment while you are just watching us, that just smelling in the air, touching yourself gently. And also, if you are eating, just smell first and then taste a little bit slower than usually you do. And yeah, this is my invitation. I'm so excited if you are sharing your experiences, even if you are lacking of something, or if you want to more explore about how you can connect deeper with your senses, and connecting with your senses or through your senses with your body. Thank you very much.
Garisha, oh my goodness. I could relate to so much. First of all, because I have a young daughter, and your experience of, not allowing you to tap into your intuition when you're a young child, and how much it has affected you, for being forced to be someone who you were not, or something to do some things that were not really you knew inside was not good for you, and therefore getting sick. It's really powerful, all these things that you've shared today. Following our intuition as women, I believe that this is one of our strongest senses, that a world suppresses us, stops us from using our intuition to understand what is good for us, what's not good, where is danger, and therefore disarming us later in life. And I know you have a really, really powerful story and journey that you've gone through. What can people expect at the Women Thrive Summit? Because I know you're a speaker at the Women Thrive Summit. And just a snippet that we got today was phenomenal. But what can people expect during the summit from your talk?
Yes, I would like to show how, from different angles and holistically, how you can reconnect with yourself, with your femininity, with your body, with your mind, with your emotions on a totally different approach, and how you can, and you are also able to heal whatever baggages and stories and history you are carrying. You can absolutely put down and rewrite your story, and kind of like create a brand new life, and step into your power, step into your leadership, step into for example, through your senses, and then expressing your emotions in the real time, and create a beautiful, abundant, and joyful life.
I love that. Gersha, amazing, amazing. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
How do people connect with you?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Girisha Andrea.
Gersha Andrea. Amazing. Well, lovely to see you here today. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. So much to uncover there, but I allow our audience to tap into your intuition. And if you feel connected and called to speak to some of our speakers and connect with them, please feel free to do that, because they're all such amazing, wonderful women who have safe space for you if you wanted to uncover what's underneath it all. So thanks so much, Grisha. I look forward to seeing you at the
Thank you
summit.
very much. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Wow, powerful. How are you all feeling? I wanna find out from you. Are you excited to hear more speakers? Let me know in the chat. We've got an amazing, amazing lineup today. We've got, I think, another seven speakers. So Stay tuned, stay with us. So my next speaker is joining us from Australia, who is 𝐷𝐨𝐿. So 𝐷𝐨𝐿 is the book writing coach. She is published author of fiction and non-fiction books, accredited editor, and a former journalist with a Masters of Art in English and Spanish. 𝐷𝐨𝐿 has been coaching and supporting writers and aspiring writers since early 2000. And in her signature book coaching program, the Book Writing Academy, she works with the writers to write and complete polished, published, ready fiction and non-fiction books to communicate their knowledge and their stories. We actually got a few writers and authors on today's call. Hello, 𝐷𝐿. How are you?
Good. Hello, Raimonda. I'm very well, thank you. Evening here. Good morning to you.
Yay. Yes, it is. Where are you joining from?
So the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia.
I love it. That's on my vision board to visit. And that's the beauty of this community. You'll get to connect with women with all parts of the world. Who knows? We might make some friends and go there for a visit. 𝐷𝐿, I'm really excited about hearing what you got to share with us. So I'll hand over the keys to you.
Thank you so much, Raimonda. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. So yes, I'm 𝐷𝐨𝐿, the book writing coach, and I've been supporting writers since the early 2000s. And I've published 2 books myself, and my 3rd book is coming out in January 2025. So I'm going to ask you a question. You want to write a book. Let's say you want to write a book. Do you know how to start and where to start with writing your book? Do you have the discipline to spend several hours a week for several months to write your book? And do you have the confidence in your writing ability? I've spoken with and worked with a lot of people who've spent around 20 years trying to write their book on their own, where with expert support, they'd be able to write it in around 6 months. So I'll tell you a little story about one of the clients that I'm working with. She's a lady in her 50s, and English is not her first language. She's spent more than 20 years trying to write her life story, which she's fictionalizing as a novel. It's an amazing story about how she initially escaped from East Germany when the wall went up in East Berlin. And over the years, she has taken on a lot of opinions on her writing from both professionals and non-professionals. And she ended up thoroughly confused about the direction of her book and the content of her book. She kept stopping and starting and changing because of all these different opinions that she was receiving. And she ended up just completely lacking in self-confidence with her writing. However, she's a very determined person. She was determined to get there and to tell her story. So she began working with me a few months ago, and now she's 96,000 words into her novel and on her last 3 chapters. It's absolutely lovely to see that her self-confidence has blossomed, and she really feels heard and supported. So she's well on the way to achieving that dream of finishing her book and getting it published in the next few months. So when I work with writers, I definitely take very much a tailored approach, not a cookie cutter approach, because everyone's different. All clients are individuals, and they need different things, different support. And some people find it very easy, others find it much more difficult. Excuse me. So it's about working to the person's needs. And I really work towards excellence as well, which means that I want each person who works with me to write a book that's polished and that will stand up to the scrutiny of the world when it gets published. The people I work with are necessarily passionate and driven. They're so ready to write their book and to take the plunge, and they're committed, and they understand the value of having someone to work with them and bring their vision to life. So the kinds of problems that people, or issues that people struggle with when they come to me, are that they don't know how to even begin the book. Sometimes they don't know, they know that they're not going to achieve their goal without accountability. So some people are quite realistic about that. They know that they need someone to, as it were, hold their hand throughout the journey. And a lot of people also suffer from imposter syndrome and a real lack of confidence in their writing ability. One of the messages that I would give you is that not anyone can write a book. However, anyone with the passion and determination to write a book can definitely do so with the support of a book coach. And my catch cry to all of the people that I work with is, there's no book until there's a book. So get it all down first, because the polishing comes after the first draft is completely written. I'm looking forward to meeting you all again at the Women Thrive Summit in March next year, where I'll be talking about reaching your dream goal of writing your book within 6 months. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Gail, congratulations. Congratulations to your client for really taking a leap, because it's a bit of leap of faith to start the process, especially when English is not your first language, but well done for supporting her along the way. How do people can get in touch with you?
So the easiest way would be to send me an email, gail@bookwritingcoach.com.au.
Amazing. Gail, I know you shared that you'll be speaking at the Women Thrive Summit, and I know there's going to be lots of gems. But thanks so much for being here on today's showcase, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the summit.
Thanks for having me, Ramonda.
Appreciate it. See you again soon. This was Gail Tagara. So if you wanted to connect with her, make sure that you do. Our speakers bring so much wealth of knowledge, experience, and inspiration for you today. My speaker next is lovely Michelle Watson. And Michelle is joining us from the UK. She is multi-award-winning international speaker, business and performance mentor with a mission to empower women worldwide. She specializes in guiding women from conception to realization of their business ideas through her pioneering business incubation process. I am thrilled to have you here, Michelle. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great. Thank you, Ramonda. I was literally just sharing it on my socials, telling people, let's go. It's that time. Come on, jump on.
Yes. Michelle, I've had the opportunity to get to know you a bit better over the last few months. You also were featured on the cover of the Women Thrive magazine. Yeah. I know you have quite a story, and every time you speak on our stage, like, whoa, it's like fireworks just go off. So I'm just going to leave it there and let our audience enjoy it. So over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. It's been phenomenal. We've had amazing speakers on the lineup so far this morning, and I'm still looking forward to the great gems that will be coming after. And what I wanted to really share with you this morning, I want you to stop, because Ramonda knows me. I love sharing my little nuggets and knowledges in sharing a bit of story or analogies or metaphors. And what really came to me in speaking about what I'm going to be talking about in a few minutes is the game of darts. Now I want you to imagine you've gone in, you've entered yourself into this game of darts. You have no idea what this game entails. You've only just been seeing people throwing the darts at this board on a wall, and you're like, yeah, I can do it. It's easy. All they're doing is throwing darts to make sure those darts stick on the board. You have no idea of what's going on. And so you've gone on, you've taken your darts from the checker. I think that's the guy, that's what they call the guy that navigates the game. My husband watches a lot of darts. And so you go on, you take your darts and you throw them, and they've hit the board, they have stuck, they've remained there. And you're like, woohoo, I've got this, right? And you've been doing it for a year. So I want you to say you've been doing it for a whole year. You get to the end of the year, you look on the scoreboard and you're like saying to the checker, like, what's going on? I've got to the end of the year. I've thrown all the darts. They have stuck to the board. Why is it that my score is not what I'm expecting it to be? Why is it that my name is at the bottom of that list? I've been doing the same thing everybody else has been doing. So why is it any different for me? And the checker turns to you and says, well, guess what? The one thing that you've been doing differently is that you have not aimed. You have not actually aimed. And you're like, what do you mean by? Obviously, I aimed. The dart stuck to the board. But he said, no. The first thing that is missing is the A. You didn't have an awareness of what it is that the game is about. What is it that was actually required of you for you to get the points that you need to get? You see, the game was not just about throwing the darts and making sure it stick. It was about where you threw the dart. It was about getting the higher numbers. It was about that red little round bit in the middle that seems like it's just there as a design. It's not just there as a design. Your aim was supposed to be that you get the dart in there or into the highest scoring areas. And so that's the A. As you're going through and navigating your business and your time as we go throughout the year, do we have an awareness of what it is that we really want to achieve at the end of that year? Not even just the end of that year. What is the long-term goal that we're working towards? Because if we don't have a long-term goal that we're working towards, the chances are we may be just like that player that's just been throwing darts, but not really getting the results that we want. Then there's the I, intentional, being intentional. Now, just like that player, if you now have the awareness, the next thing is that because of the awareness, now you're going to be intentional. You're going to be intentional about getting the dart into those areas that will get you the results that you want at the end of the year. You will be intentional about getting the dart into that red circle bit. I don't even know what it's called, but if there's a name for it, but you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen a dartboard, that little red area, getting the dart in there, because now you have an awareness of what is really required for you to win this game. You would now be intentional. So yes, you have the awareness. Yes, now you're being intentional. Now it's about the big mission. What is that big mission? What is that big why? What is the thing that's going to keep you motivated? Now you have the awareness. Now you're being intentional about taking steps. What is it that's going to keep you motivated and keep you strong at those moments when things get difficult? At those moments when you've thrown the dart and it's not hit the target where you're aiming for it to hit. So that's three things I want you to really be aware of, really be intentional about when it comes to 2025, even coming up to the end of the year, because I always say The journey that you're planning to take doesn't just start when you start taking the journey. It's about the things that you do in preparation for that journey. And so I know for many of us, we look and we say, okay, I want to end on this high. Okay, but is this high connecting to the journey that you want to experience within your business in 2025? So what is the end goal? What is that main mission? Whether it be when you're writing a book, whether it be when you're starting your business. And so one of the things that I will be talking about at the Amazing Women Try Summit, I cannot wait. It will be talking about all these key areas. What is it that's going to really make you thrive in your business? What is it that is going to really make you visible? And I will be talking about how you build your business to get it to be a business that is not solely reliant on you. I will be also talking about how you get your story out there, your message out there and into the world and in the hands of your ideal clients, in the front of your ideal clients, because you need to aim. You need to make sure you aim. You need to have an awareness of what it is that you want to achieve in your business next year. Not just next year, but beyond. You also want to be intentional about it. And you also want to be knowledgeable of your mission. Make it your big why so that it keeps you motivated on the journey. So I do hope that you had your notepad and you got to writing and wrote down those 3 tips. So remember, aim, have an awareness, be intentional, and make sure you know what your mission is. Great, guys. Can't wait to see you at the summit next year.
Simple but so powerful. Your message just lands like the bullseye.
That's it, the bullseye. I couldn't remember what it is. The bullseye. That's it.
When Michelle aims with her speaking and she does the prep, she always get it in.
God bless you. Thank you.
I was saying this morning, my mentor used to say, speakers speak, right? We practice our art, and I know you practice your speaking all the time, and that's the result of showing up, doing the work, because success doesn't happen overnight. And you talked about the journey. You've been on quite a journey, and you're here, you're still putting the work in. I mean, you're an amazing example for others.
The mission, the why, it keeps you going. It keeps you going, Ramonda. You know what I'm saying? You go for the challenges, you hit through those walls, and it's what's beyond that makes you be able to do it. If not, we'll just look at that wall and be like, okay, it's another day. Let's just pull the sheets over our heads, especially when it's freezing the way it's freezing right now. But the mission, that M in that aim, it keeps us going. So yeah.
What's your overarching mission in life, would you say?
Wow. I always get asked this, and this vision just keeps coming back to me at every given moment. One of the things that I really incorporated, and it's about the steps, right? So I had these steps in my mind. And the first big one was for me was when I got to the age of 40, I didn't want to be working for anyone else. Okay, great. And I hit that. What was the purpose of that? The purpose of that was for me to be able to reach as many people that I wanted to reach those women that have gone through abuse, that have gone through some hard things in life, and it's made them thrown away their why, their dream. And so I was like, I need to be able to touch the hearts of at least 1 million women before I leave this earth. And I thought, I'm not going to be able to go to all of those women individually. So I have to create a ripple effect. So the more lives that I impact, the more women that I impact, the more possibility I have of that happening. But there's one thing that has not left my thoughts, and it's actually having a place. I want a hub, a massive building that is going to be for people, whether it be that they're on the streets, whether it be that they've lost their home, they started a business, they lost it, but it's a place for them to restart. I want to have a restart hub. And it sounds so way out there, and it sounds so crazy, and I don't know how it's going to happen, but that there's going to be a restart hub for people, because I don't believe in anyone. I believe that after there's a full stop, there's a capital letter that will start another sentence for somebody else's life. And I want to be a part of that capital letter. That's my end goal. I want to be a part of that capital letter that starts back the life of people. I don't even know why I'm getting emotional this morning, but yeah.
It is emotional. It's massive. It's a beautiful dream. And look, also when we began this morning, I said, you got to dream bigger.
Yeah.
In order for you to see what's possible, because unless you can dream bigger, you may never aim that high. You may not even think it's possible until you start to see other people dreaming as big and doing as big. So
yeah,
speak that audacious incredible goal into existence, and as long as it has a purpose and a reason to exist, it will happen. And I love that you say, the ripple effect. You've done it through other people, just impacting their lives, and then they're impacting other lives, and you create massive, massive positive effects. So for those who feel like, I don't know what to do, I don't feel like I can make a difference, I'm just one person, my voice is not being heard, listen, just be here, be inspired, and know there's so much you can do.
Definitely. And we will never see it. We don't see it, right? We don't always see the beyond. And that's why I always tap into what the Bible says about faith being the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So because we don't yet see it, and we have to remember that we're pulling from a source that is not just logical. We're pulling from a source that is beyond the logics. And logic will say to us that that's not possible. Logic will say to us, based on your location, or based on the family you came from, or based on where you came from, that determines your final say. And I beg to differ. So logic, that's your logic, but it's not mine. It's not my belief, right? That's your logic. Keep your logic. It's fine. I'm not here to go against what you believe, but that's not what I choose to believe. So, and I think everyone should stay in that. Yes, you may be seeing some negative things in front of you right now. It doesn't mean that that's where your bus stop is. It's just another part of the journey. You just needed to change trains, or we do that, right? When we're going down underground, we start off on the Piccadilly line. To get to the next part of the journey, we have to go on the Central line, or we have to go on the Victoria line. And you have to just look at it. That's it. I'm going through this maze, and there's different lines that I'm gonna have to jump on to get to my destination.
And if you're not aware, she's talking about the tube system in London.
Yeah, I need to remember this is international, baby. Yeah, so the tube.
Yesterday when I was walking home from town, I was thinking, if I allowed where I come from define where I'm going in life, and the grand vision that I have. Like, we're planning an event in the United States in January, and when I come back to where I was born in the most remote village in Lithuania. There's nothing there. You have to walk for 10-15 minutes to get to the nearest, like, just one shop in town. Not even town, it's a village. And there's nothing exists there. I love it because it's so sacred. It's our family, like, land, and I absolutely adore it. But if I allowed that surrounding to dictate where I was going, I would have stayed there and become a farmer.
Yeah.
But the vision, like, you can go to so many places if you have the vision. It really begins here, and you can
definitely does. I have a mentee, and she said something so powerful at the end of her story, and she says labels were made for packages. They weren't made for humans. Labels were made for packages to post. If you think about the word labels and where it came from, it was made to go on posting packages, envelopes, so you could know where the package is going. It's not made for humans. We're not made to be labeled. There's unlimited capacity in each and every one of us if we choose to believe it and tap into it, right? And so even if you come back to thinking about it as a womb, let's say what we're coming out of is a womb. We've all came from different wombs, but the womb that we came from doesn't determine who we end up being as a child or an adult, right? So a part of the process is the womb of what we're in right now. When I look at my past and I look at the abuse that I went through and where I was, and the fact that I tried to take my life, at that time I didn't see this new. I didn't know Ramonda. I didn't even know who you were. I didn't even know you existed. I don't even know if you started Women Thrive at that time, right? But being able to come out of that and actually see the light and realize that that was just the end of that part of my story, and I needed to begin a new chapter. That's what's enabled me now to be here writing this part of my story, right? And so as you go for a book takes different turns. A story takes peaks, it takes trots. And maybe now may be the down moment in your story. But we have to look at it. It's a part of the story. So it's a part of the lesson. It's a part of the journey. And it's a part of something that you're going to use to, I guess, elevate. It's like you can either take it as a stone that you place on your head or a stone that you place under your feet. And that's how I see it. We can choose to bury ourselves with the challenges, or we can put it under our feet and use it as a stepping stone to get to our next stage or our next level that we want to go. And that's what I just believe. And I hold that solidly. Everything that we go through, everything that we face in life, it's a lesson. And I know that I'm talking too much now, but yeah, it's a lesson. I'm very passionate when I talk about this because I don't want anybody to give up. I think because I know that I almost killed this girl, and I say it all the while. I almost killed this girl. I didn't know she existed, right? And so that's my encouragement for you guys. Don't kill the vision because it's not looking possible right now. It might just be certain things that need to change, not necessarily the vision. It might be even the people around us that needs to change, or the situations that we are going through. But don't give up on that vision.
Yeah, so many nuggets. That's what I mean. When we just give you a stage, you just drop nuggets, 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 and it just keeps changing people's mindsets. We've got to keep doing it to get to the next place. Michelle, I'm thrilled to have you on the Women Thrive Summit. You're fantastic. Name of the book, if people wanted to read your story.
The Iconic Woman. I cannot wait. It's IDIS implementation. So it's an awesome book. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn at I am Michelle Watson, and the link is right there where you can go ahead and purchase a copy.
Amazing. Make sure you grab a copy. Michelle's story is phenomenal. I can't wait to just see you on stage and hang out with you more. And yeah, thank you so much for being here and inspiring others. We look forward to seeing a Restart Hub starting up and being there to support you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my darling. Have a great day.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.
This was Michelle Watson. Aim for that bull's eye and show up for your life. Your dreams are waiting. Don't pull the covers over your head and just feel like you are insignificant, because you are here to make a difference. And as you've seen and as you've heard from our speakers, they have been through some things, but trailblazing, they're taking action, they're getting up, they're overcoming challenges. So whatever you're being faced with in your life right now, just know it's not a full stop. It's just the beginning of a new sentence, like Michelle said. So let's go. I am so, so, so excited. Okay. Just a couple announcements to let you know that Women Thrive TV is in full effect. And I'm so excited that every week you can catch some of our amazing hosts on the Women Thrive TV, our inspirational speakers talking about all things from wealth and abundance to spirituality to chasing your dreams to putting yourself out there. So make sure on our Facebook and YouTube, you look at our upcoming events schedule. They're all scheduled over there. This is so many amazing opportunities for you to connect with these inspirational women and start. Thank you. Thank you to our incredible team. So as you've seen, we're also at Women Thrive Media. We have a podcast called Women Thrive that has just become top 5% of podcasts globally. So Women Thrive team, congratulations. So thrilled. And thanks to all of our guests and those who have been involved in our production so far. So if you feel inspired what you share, what you're hearing today, some of our speakers you can also meet on our podcast that's streamed or posted every Tuesday and every Thursday with interviewing some amazing speakers. You can grab a copy of the Women Thrive magazine in print and also digitally. That's published every month and shipped globally. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you grab a copy. It's filled with absolutely beautiful stories of women from our community. And also, of course, you can contribute to it. So if you have a story, consider contributing. And in February, we are launching the Women Thrive book. So these are inspirational women overcoming adversity in their lives and coming through it and still being here to tell their stories. So these are some of the things that we are doing at Women Thrive, and I hope you get involved one way or the other. Thank you so much. Okay, swiftly moving on to our next speaker. And if you're still here or if you're just joining us midway through, let us know where you're joining from. And if you're ready to hear our next speaker, drop an emoji or drop a heart, drop a one in the comments. I want to see that you're still here and still being inspired and motivated by our speakers. Now, next up is Kate Mayer, and Kate is psychotherapist and empowerment coach dedicated to helping women entrepreneurs overcome the effects of past trauma and step into their full potential. Drawing from her own transformative healing journey, Kate employs an intuitive approach and range of powerful techniques beyond traditional therapy, including quantum healing, hypnosis, EFT, CBT to facilitate profound personal growth. Hello, Kate. Where are you joining from?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I'm joining from Edinburgh in Scotland, where it's very cold. There's ice everywhere. it's been -5 last night. So. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, we can hear you. Amazing. Well, I'm in Spain and it's certainly much warmer here. So sending you the sunshine.
Thank you.
We look forward to hearing you on stage. We can hear you perfectly. Just be a little bit mindful that when you tap your table, so the sound doesn't interfere too much for our audience and they get good quality. But Kate, I'm really excited to hear what you've got to share with our audience, and I'll come back to your chit chat at the end.
Okay. So I help entrepreneurs to get past their energetic blocks, which are holding them stuck. And by that, I mean the negative beliefs which have built up over their lives, the negative emotions which we hold in our bodies and in our energy systems, and the past events and trauma that becomes the guiding principles by which we live our lives as to how acceptable it is for us to show up and be seen and to stand out in front of other people. And so what all of the work that I do helps is for people to be able to put themselves out there in a whole new way, authentically and confidently and calmly. But one of the things that's really key that it supports is people being able to align with the mindset that they need to create. Because as entrepreneurs, mindset is everything. You know, we have to be intentional about where we're going, what we want to be creating. You know, the big dream, we have to be able to be in that space. And if we are conscious, in our conscious mind saying, right, this is the big dream, that's where I'm heading, but our body is going, not safe, don't want to go there. Remember that time when this happened? Remember how humiliating it was when this happened? Then none of that is going to be a possibility. So I just want to talk about one of the ways that while I'm talking about mindset, one of the ways that I make sure that I stay in my positive mindset about my business. So ta-da! This is my mindset board, which is kind of like a vision board, and I keep it behind my computer, and it catches my eye all day long so that I'm regularly reminded of the ways that I want to be showing up. So on this board, I have all sorts of snippets and phrases and things that help me to really focus on where I'm going and the person that I want to be being. So I'll just tell you a couple of these. There's a lot on here, so I won't go into all of it. But right up here at the top, this is how I begin my day. So it's, what does the heart and soul loved up leader get to do today? And that heart and soul loved up leader, the loved up, I'm single at the moment, so I'm working on bringing love into my life, but that is the end goal of how I want to be in the world. So when I come to my day like that, what does that heart and soul loved up leader, that end goal energy, what do I get to do today? And that, when I look at my to-do list, that creates a whole different energy about how I'm showing up and what I want to create that day. Another one that I say regularly, I give thanks for this day, and miracle upon miracle unfolds for me. And being in the energy of gratitude and possibility is just magical. You know, that's a space where anything can happen. I have here, so in my life, I in the past, I followed other people so much. I was very constrained and put upon, and I let other people be my guide. You know, I let other people make the rules for me about how much I could show up. And so I love this because it's like, I am not beholden to anything or anyone. And along those lines, I never back down on myself, because I've done that many times, and I am never doing that again. If something is important, I am there. If I need something, I am doing it. And I just want to talk about this one here in the middle. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a playing card. Quite a few years ago now, I went along to a magic show with my dad, and there was like 600 people in the audience, and I sat down, and as soon as I sat down, I was like, oh, I'm going to be going up on stage. And at that time, the idea of that did not thrill me, quite honestly. And I just had this deep knowing. And so the guy started to show, and he was looking around the audience for someone to bring up on stage. And he pointed at my dad and asked him to come up. And Dad was like, oh, no, but she'll go. And the guy said, oh, okay, come on up. And I went up on stage, and I had to pick a card, and it was the 2 of hearts, which I love. And he wrote my name on the card, and he did the trick, which was brilliant. And he gave me back the card at the end. And I keep this here because it's just a reminder that there's magic out there. You know, there's all sorts of things can be possible. And if we believe in things, then anything can happen. And that's the kind of space that I want to show up in my business. So thank you for listening.
I love it. Amazing. Just so powerful, and change our mindset and remind ourselves just really what is possible. And everything starts from within that we put out into the world.
Totally.
Kate, what can people expect during your talk at Women Thrive Summit?
I'm going to be talking about all the different ways that we get in our own way as entrepreneurs. You know, all the ways that we can get stuck, or we can block ourselves from showing up, the beliefs, the past events which are likely to be causing those kind of situations. And I'm going to be giving a session of quantum healing to help people to get past the key block which is getting in their way.
Amazing. Okay, I'm really excited for your talk. How can people connect with you?
Let me put my details in now. So there's a link there that's got all my details on it.
Okay, amazing. What is the most favorite platform where you hang out for people to connect with?
Well, do you know, and this will be against probably what a lot of people might think, but I've stopped doing social media now because it was draining me. I don't want people to spend all their lives on social media. So I don't want to be in a space where I'm doing that or encouraging that. So I send out a regular newsletter. I get out there and speak. I'm writing all sorts of things, and I want to engage with people in that way. I'm on LinkedIn because I love connecting with people. So if anybody wants to connect with me there, that's amazing. And yeah, I have a Healing Place app, which has lots of different programs to help people heal.
Amazing. That's so cool. And I love that you're conscious of where you want to spend your time and energy, and you created that boundary for yourself. And people who care about being involved in your world, they will do. So that's amazing. Thanks. Appreciate you, Kate. And we look forward to seeing you at the summit.
Thank you.
Amazing. We've got a few more speakers to go, so don't go anywhere. And I want to check in how you're feeling, what's coming up for you. Maybe you're starting to build bigger visions. Maybe you're starting to think, I want a board like this that Kate just shared. And maybe I need daily reminders of just what's possible and just what I can do. All right, my next speaker, who is 𝐷𝐸 𝐵𝐸. She's an author of 4 incredible books on romance thriller collection, the Vengeance series. I'm excited to invite Marcy actually to today's showcase. Hi, Marcy, where are you joining us from?
Hello, I'm in Illinois in the States.
Amazing. Looking forward to hearing what you got to share with our audience today. I know you always have a spark of inspiration for our audience.
Well, I'm really happy to be here. It is really early morning here in Illinois, and actually 4:20 a.m. But I wanted to be here on this platform in the morning because I usually speak in the afternoon. So I'm really glad to be here. Have you ever wondered why some people get everything they want in life and others don't? Or why people are successful at everything and others aren't? Well, part of the reason is a difference in mindset. I was raised to believe you are who you think you are because my father knew that success begins with a strong positive mindset and having confidence. But he also knew that you become successful not only by believing in your success, but by proving it. You see, that's where the line is drawn consistently between successful people and others. People who are successful in life plan and work for their dreams and goals. They start with a positive mindset that gives them confidence, and that confidence brings persistence and eventually success. This combination for success became crystal clear to me when I worked as a high school counselor. Did you know that an incredibly significant percentage of 14-year-old boys all think they're going to the NFL? It's true. When we work or when I would talk with them about their careers, many freshman boys would sit across from me and say, I'm going to play in the NFL. And my reaction was always the same. Great. I'm really proud of you for having such a lofty goal. Now let's talk about your plan. How are you going to get there? You're in high school and you need to reach the highest pinnacle of football, the NFL. Something has to happen in that space between the two. You need a plan. So what's your plan? And every time I got pretty much the same answer. I'm going to play football like I was the dumbest person in the world. They believed that merely playing the game was going to take them to the professional level, thinking that they couldn't possibly expect such a phenomenal reward for such little effort. I prompted them a little bit more. Now think about it. Tell me some things you have to do to get to the NFL. And the answer would be, I'll be good at football. And then I knew it. This young man and so many others like him were not going anywhere. They were without a plan, without the dream and the vision, they weren't going anywhere. So guess how many students I had that actually went to the NFL? 0. You see, because without a plan, without realizing that hard work and without doing the hard work, these students weren't going anywhere. And I couldn't wave a magic wand and make it happen for them if they weren't trying their hardest to achieve on their own. Now, here's the opposite situation. I had a young man come in my office and we started talking about careers. And when he told me he was going to be an astrophysicist, a red flag went up in my head because isn't that kind of like the academic scientific equivalent of going to the NFL? So I asked him what I always ask everybody, what's your plan? And to say that I was unprepared for this young man's answer is an understatement. His explanation went something like this. Well, Mrs. Blasky, we don't have any AP classes, so I'm going to have it to take college credit in high school, or I'm going to be at a real disadvantage to get into the University of Illinois. So I've got to take extra math and science, on and on and on. This kid had a plan. He sold me on his potential for success, and I knew that he was something special. So I also knew that some of the things he needed to make his dream come true were beyond his capabilities. We had never sent a student to the junior college for math or science courses. That was going to be a hard sell for my superiors and for the ones at the JC. But I did it. And I did it because he needed it and because he was working so hard. He understood that he had to be the one working hardest for his dreams. And those are the kind of people who get the help they need. People don't mind helping someone who's actively helping themselves. Therefore, when we ask, why are some people always getting what they want and always successful? It's because they have a winning mindset and because they're working hard for what they want. Those are the kind of people who get others behind them in their pursuits. We see promise in them because they know that a big dream isn't realized by wishing and wanting. It takes a lot more than that. The point here is that mindset is the beginning of reaching your goals. You are who you think you are is a powerful concept. It sets the pace and gets you started on your journey. But mindset alone will not sustain you toward your dreams. You are who you think you are, and then you have to prove it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing, amazing, amazing story. Having a plan. I mean, we actually, we started this showcase today, we said there's going to be a theme, and today there is certainly a theme about having a vision, maybe a grand vision, but also knowing that to that vision there is a journey. There are steps to get there. And what you just shared, it just really reiterates that as well, but in
Absolutely.
just a different way.
Yeah. Well, in my speech coming up in March, it's about those steps, because I had to go on a journey to get my book published, and that was my big dream. And I found out that there are steps to that. It just doesn't happen. You know, the big things just don't happen. You have to make them happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And how many books you published so far?
I have the series of 4, and the third one in the series just came out. So it's available now on Amazon, Nightmares and Premonitions. And the 4th one, I have the proof print coming. It is supposed to be done by the end of the year. So the whole set, all 4, will be out in 2024.
Wow, that's just phenomenal. I mean, I can't imagine publishing 4 books. I mean, you're amazing.
They're fun. Romance.
Yeah, amazing. How do people get in touch with you if they felt inspired by what you shared?
My website is marcyb.net, marcyb.net. All my social media links are on there. I mostly hang out on Facebook, though. So if you just type my name in, Marcy Blasky, you'll find me.
Amazing. Super excited to have you on the summit and hear a little bit more. And of course, you are also part of the Women Thrive TV that you shared your beautiful talk on there as well. So thanks so much, Marcy. And I hope you
My pleasure.
get a little nap later on in the day.
I haven't been to bed yet.
Oh my goodness. Bless your heart. Thank you so much for staying up to hang out with us. Thank you. That was Marcy Bediaski. Oh my goodness. Ladies, I am so grateful for our speakers really going out their way to be here, going through the challenges. And they're here to inspire you and empower you. So the best way to pay it forward is to share this stream with some of your social media followers. If you know someone who might be inspired by this, share it to your social media feed. Tag someone to watch the replay of this session. And we really, really appreciate your support and your time to be here. My next speaker, who's Danny Roosevelt James, who is a mind and body coach who draws from her personal healing journey and studies at the Procter & Gallagher Institute to help others thrive. After overcoming traumatic brain injury, she now guides clients towards self-connection, healing, and personal transformation. Hello, Danny. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Where are you joining from? And is there some snow where you are at?
So, yes, I'm in Sweden, and it snowed just a tiny bit, but it's to the point where I wish it was more because it would hold in the cold a little bit better. So it's at the point where it's like, oh, it's super cold because there's not enough snow, but it's nice.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, Danny. Well, I look forward to hearing from you about your.
Yeah. Good day, everybody. It's an easier way than saying all the other ways. So I'm kind of going to be talking about something similar that Nikki was talking about. And it kind of comes back to what Michelle Watson was also talking about. I think that all of us need to realize how to work on our limiting beliefs. And these can stem from so many different things. The first step to do this is we need to recognize the power of our own minds. There are a lot of limitations that can start in your mind, and this can be through fear, self-doubt, or those negative beliefs. And another thing that we need to do is we need to acknowledge our own potential. Like this was something that Michelle was saying, the over the top goal that she had. And I think all of us need to have a goal out there that we thrive towards. And that could be whatever it is for you. And this also helps us have the room to grow, where we don't feel confined to limiting beliefs of, oh, we can't do it. We're at this level. We can never be that high. Then you're also doing those limiting beliefs to yourself. I can't do this. And you hold yourself back. And that's one of the common limiting beliefs out there. Another one would be that we reflect on beliefs that we actually get from other people. And this is also something that starts with limiting beliefs. So like this could be from past experiences. This could be from things your family or friends said. So you adopt those beliefs into your system, and then it starts to limit your own self, your own potential. And this doesn't help you or anybody. Another thing that we also do is we do self-criticism, and that does not help anybody. The same with taking in the beliefs from the society. Now, you have to look within and figure out what works for you. And it's really good to reflect on these beliefs that you have to see if you truly believe them, or if there's something that maybe was passed down, like he said, she said, or whatever it may be for you. So like for me, I had to do a lot of inner work, and I found out that some beliefs from my father was passed down to me. Like one was, oh, you're a woman. You have to stay at home and find a man to work for you, and stay home with the kids, things like that. It's like, that was definitely not my kind of thing wanting, but it somehow got ingrained into me, and it popped up here and there where my potential was limited because I had this limiting belief. And there's loads others that people go through in life, and that's just one from many others. So next, to help with all these limiting beliefs, it's good for us to shift our mindset. So we got to reframe our thoughts. Instead of saying, I can't, or this can't happen, then we need to turn it into, how can I? What can I do? What do I need to learn to make this possible? So reframing this gives us power to move forward in our lives and become the better person of ourselves that we want to become. And something that I also want to mention is it's really good for us to focus on any of those goals or any of the small goals that we have to our big goal. So that'd be like any kind of wins. So if you're going up the stairs, just think of every step that you're taking up those stairs is a win. You're getting closer to your destination that's at the top. And we have to remember that it's a journey, and it's going through the journey to get to the destination. It's the journey that matters more than even the destination. And I think a lot of us tend to forget that. And that was something that many of the ladies have now mentioned, like Marcy, talking about having a plan. Yes, you have to have the plan set and forth to get to your destination. And I love how it seems like so many of our topics are aligning so well. It feels really good. But yeah, so like one of the tips that I do for winning and celebrating it is I have a win-win jar. And so what I do is I write whatever my win is. Maybe it's like, oh, I have $10 now. So I write it on a piece of paper, and then I put it in my win-win jar. So when I'm having one of those off days, feeling really bad, I look at my jar and then I go, yeah, I am doing great. And just pull out a couple of them, go, oh yes, I've done this and this. Because let's be real, everyone has some off days. We're not perfect, and it's okay. And it's good to realize that and recognize it and take it for grace. You know, it's good to be your best friend instead of your worst critic. And that's another thing that I love telling my clients. And as we go back to the limiting beliefs, it's good for us to take action. Now, this is something that is really hard to follow through when fear gets involved. And I know so many of us out there have dealt with fear, and many of us, it's hard to keep moving forward. And I get it. Life gets tough. Some of those obstacles we go through, it's hard to face them head on. However, we also have to realize that, and this is something that Michelle had mentioned, that each obstacle or chapter that you have in your life, it's put there for a reason. It's a lesson that you will grow through and learn from. So that's something I believe full-heartedly is so true for all of us to realize and recognize. So we also have to realize that progress, it's not a perfection. It's okay. You're going to have some ups and downs. You're going to have some problems here or there, but that's okay. It's going forward as you progress. That's what matters. You're progressing. And let's see, we're running out of time. So I'm going to leave with a really good quote that I like. It's, "You are confined only by the walls you build yourself." And this is from Andrew Murphy. And this is oh so true. So we, as I've said many times to many people, is we get to choose our life. We get to choose our path. So I want you to choose, what do you want to do now? Are you going to go forward? Or are you going to stay in one place? What are your goals? I bet you can do this. So thank you.
Danny, thank you so much for this. I see Gail's like, yes, Danny, I love the idea of your win-win jar. How did this idea come about?
It was actually from one of my mentors. So when I started on this spiritual journey, I didn't take just on one mentor. No. I had to take on like 4, because I guess somewhere in my mind, I'm like, I want to see these different perspectives, because each of them had different perspectives to tell me. Like, one saw on a more spiritual side, one saw more in a book knowledge way, and then the others and so forth. So I guess my mind was like, I need to see these different ways here and there and there. And so when I did this, it was one of those mentors, Joanna Hunter, that told me about a win-win jar. And when she mentioned it, I was like, click. I'm going to do that, because I know physically seeing your wins makes so much of a bigger difference. Like for a while there, I was writing my wins on a piece of paper, but it got lost in a notebook. But having an actual win-win jar, you get to see all the little papers that are starting to stack up, and you're like, oh, it's starting to get big in there. So I think that feels really good.
Wow, I'm looking around the room thinking, where can I store my win-win jar?
Yeah.
I love it. That's amazing. I love that we all share little nuggets. We all been on the same theme of a journey. It is a journey, and it's a progress. Like I said, at the beginning when I opened, I said, you don't just get to the top without experiencing struggles or challenges. And it's like each and every one of you just added a little extra piece to that puzzle today.
Yeah, it's so, I love it. And I loved how we seem to align so well with what everyone was talking about. And I was like, this is great. It feels so good when that happens.
I never know what to truly expect, because we don't sit down and plan our topics on one thing. We all just have our own unique individual message. But in the end, all the messages is like creates a beautiful picture at the end.
Yeah, definitely. And it truly gives us, like how I had mentioned with the different perspectives, each one of us women, we have our different perspectives. So it's like we're talking about very similar topics, but yet each one of us has our own backstory with it, which helps it align with so many more people out there, because there are 8 billion people in the world. It's kind of crazy to not think there's someone out there that's going to resonate with whatever you're saying. And that's like what I love what you're doing with Women Thrive, is you believe everyone has a voice. And I truly believe that too, because we all have stories to say. And it's just that we need to get the more of the confidence in order to get it out there. Because I know so many people that say to me, oh, but I'm not you, or, oh, no one's going to read my book, or nobody cares. And I just look at them going, there's 8 billion people in the world. Come on. There has to be at least one that's going to like your story.
Yeah, of course. So your book has just been published. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, it's an international bestseller. And yeah, I'm super stoked about it. It's called The Wandering Heart, A Tale of a Misfit Traveling in Life's Wilderness. And it's loosely based on my traumatic brain injury and how I overcame it. And then, so throughout it, I guess the reason that I did it this way was because I didn't want people just to see me as a broken thing healing. So every other chapter, I have it where it's in present tense, where you get to go through me on my healing journey after the accident. And then the every other chapter from that goes into the past. So the audience gets to see me before the accident and how crazy I was because I was a weed farmer. I was all about partying. I didn't have a future plan whatsoever. And so I think it gives them a bigger picture of the person I was. And I also say it's loosely based because I don't want anyone to feel like they're going to get in trouble or anything, because there's a lot of crazy stuff in
it. Interesting. Look, I love The Wandering Heart.
Yeah.
And as we talk today about a journey and the fact that your life prior was kind of unhinged, you had the free, it feels like you lived that really wandering heart, as in you had the freedom.
Yeah.
And today, like from Garisha, when she was saying that her, she had life experiences that put her in a box, made her feel like she has to fit a specific mold. And as you know, my t-shirt says break the mold. It feels like you were free and happy before all of that happened.
Yeah, you would think so, but I was so far away from spirituality. Like I had a very good intuition because I hitchhiked and I learned how not to get in a car and when to and things like that. However, I think I was lost within myself, and it was a hit on the head or several hits on the head to help me realize that what I was doing at the time, I liked it, but I felt like I could do so much more. Like I know to this day that I am here to help so many more people. And then being a weed farmer, yeah, I'm helping people with that, but I can do so much more than just that. And I was working for someone else as well. So nowadays I'm working for myself, and I'm able to help people through my book, through speaking events, through my mind and body coaching. And this like fills my soul so much more. Plus doing all this inner work, inner healing, I'm realizing that, oh, I wasn't totally there for my teenage self, or I wasn't there for my kid version of myself. And it hurt my heart. I mean, I cried several times while I was healing because I realized that I forgot about these guys and they needed love and attention. And all I was about was just partying and ignoring emotions and feelings as if they didn't matter. And after the accident, I realized that these needed to be heard, and all that healing and all that intense, I mean, it was 7 years. It was intense. But after all that, I finally realized that, oh, wow, I can help other people. I can learn, like this is a lesson, as Michelle said, that every chapter is a learning lesson for us. And that's exactly what I saw my traumatic brain injury as. And I see it more as a gift than anything.
And that's so beautifully said, that now that you found your purpose, your impact is bigger. Now that you've done your healing journey, you've gone through the challenges. I can't imagine going through brain injury and having to go through the layers and layers of physical and also mental healing and spiritual healing. So you've gone through it all, but now because of it, you're able to help others. Without it, you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why I see it as a gift, because, if I hadn't had this happen, I know I would still be doing the same thing I was doing, and I maybe would have ended up dead because I would have probably gotten shot or something, because it was like a little bit of the wild, wild west out there at times. So, and like when I left the weed farming industry, I left it right when it was starting to go in drought, and there were a lot of thieves, a lot of bad things were starting to happen. And then they started having all the fires, but I wasn't there anymore. So I was kind of like, it kind of worked out for me in a way, like, because I would have never known that was going to happen, but I would have been a part of it if I hadn't had this accident.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Danny, how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can find me on misfitwanders.com or Facebook, Instagram.
Okay, amazing. Well, Danny, thank you so much for sharing and staying on a little bit longer to kind of share more depth to your story. Appreciate it, and super inspired by just the things you've been through and your vision and purpose now in what you're doing today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Wow, that was Danny. I encourage you to grab the books of our speakers, because their stories are written in much more full context in the books that they publish, and it's not a small thing to publish a book. So amazing. My last speaker, but not least, Helen Sue, who is joining us today. I'm thrilled to have Helen on. Last time when Helen closing our showcase was just super powerful. So Helen is the founder of Neo Dance, for holistic thought leaders to reclaim their aliveness and inner power so they can show up in the world full of passion and authenticity through a transformational somatic dance. Hello, Helen. How are you?
Hi everyone. Yes, I'm good, thank you. Always humbled to come onto here, and always humbled after hearing the previous speaker, and what Danny's been through is incredible. So I always feel a bit like, oh, who am I? I've just come in at the very end, but here I am. So today I thought actually my modality is through movement and dance, and it's all about embodiment, being in the body. Some of you might be really familiar with the term. Some of you might still be like, well, what is this whole embodiment thing about, right? Today, actually, I'm going to talk about something that's completely connected, but it's not something you'd immediately think about. And it's very connected to Raymonda's story and unleashing the power of women's voices by Women Thrive. Because when we're not in our bodies, we might have a voice that's a bit like this. Or, if you're an entrepreneur and you have that 60-second elevator pitch, how much did you practice it until you became confident? And when you actually start to become more confident and relaxed, which means that you're dropping out of here and you're coming more into your body, then your voice just kind of drops a bit. It becomes more grounded. You just start to find your voice from within you. It's not something that's just here, right? And actually, this part of us is very connected to our pelvic area, our creative area, our sacral area. And so when we're not in our bodies and we're in our mind, we might have a weak voice, we might have a squeaky mouse voice, or we might be completely loud and overbearing to overcompensate for the fact that we're actually so caught up in here and not in our bodies that our voice is just all distorted. And we all need to have a voice. And yes, when I was growing up, I didn't feel very seen or heard. Well, I was seen, but in a way that was, I was going to say objectified, but I don't mean that. I mean, I was seen in a way that was like, oh, I'm from a different part of the world. I've got strange look, flat face, funny eyes, this, that, whatever. I certainly didn't feel I had a voice. Everyone was always chanting and taunting at me, and it completely made me shut down. So the last thing I wanted to do was to be seen and to be heard. It was the last thing. I just wanted to shrivel away. And that continued for quite a few years into my adulthood. I went traveling and I just actually felt so exposed. I didn't know who I was. I hadn't been able to feel accepted because of course I hadn't accepted myself, to be able to just be present out there. And so I know that some of you out there might not necessarily like the sound of your voice. I mean, we meet someone, we see them, but then what's the next thing that happens? They open their mouth. Now, if any of you have ever been on these kind of online dating apps or anything like that, right? You know, you might see someone, but if you meet someone for real, you get the whole 3D experience. When you see someone is one thing, but when they open their mouth is another. Their energy, how they express themselves, their projection. And to do it in a way that's authentic and empowered, you have to be in your body. And so I love movement and dance. I have done since I was very young. It's my way to express, it's my way to come alive, it's my way to really drop into everything and drop out of here. And sometimes it can take time, right? Especially if we've been very busy. That's why if you're into yoga as an embodiment practice, right? If you're very busy in your mind, you can't do those balancing poses. You keep toppling over because your mind's not still enough. The beauty with dance is that you can have a crazy frenetic mind and you can move and just express and do the most outrageous expression. But what happens is that all that excess nervous energy sort of gets dissolved, and then you come back to an inner stillness. I always liken it to being in India. For any of you who've been to India or that part of the world, India can be so crazy and busy. It's a land full of contradictions, right? But in the heart of it, there is this stillness that can be seen as a spirituality, which is why now we use the word spirituality in so many different ways. If we're connected to our inner stillness, our inner point of reflection, where we have clarity, where we don't have to prove anything, where we're just at peace with ourselves within, that these days also can be considered a kind of spirituality, right? So back to the voice. And ironically or interestingly, it was when I was studying my MA quite a few years ago now, my MA in Dance and Somatic Wellbeing, that I realized how important the voice was. I'd come across voice work. I've done kirtan and chanting and mantras and japa meditation, which is about repeating a phrase constantly. These days we have positive affirmations, and we voice and express what we want because it sort of brings it into form, it brings it into life, it makes it sit and land. It's not just a thought. No, we know how busy our thoughts can be, and we know how ephemeral they can be, and how distorted they can be, and so many things. Our thoughts, they can be like bullet trains, right? When we express something, and we express something with conviction and clarity, then that has a different resonance, that has a different power, which is also why you might do personal development work or workshops where they say, express what your intention was, express it so that it's heard. And when you put that force behind you into your intention, and that force has to come from an embodied place, it's the beginning of making it a reality. It's the beginning of making it, solidifying it, of birthing it. And all this comes from within all of us, not just here, which is why, talk therapy has its place, 100%. But you also have to ground what you're learning, what you're experiencing, what you're discovering. All those light bulb moments, they can just go and be gone again. But when you start to embody, when you, in fact, take action, what is taking action? Taking action is not it staying here. Taking action is it coming into your body, doing physical activities, taking the physical steps. We don't get from A to B with just our map or our sat nav. We actually have to move our legs, get on the bike, get in the car, get on the train. We actually have to take the action. Otherwise, that pipe dream is always going to be there. And so by embodying what we want, and sometimes the beauty of moving and dancing is that we also discover what we want, because the mind chatter slows down and quietens. We come more to that inner place of stillness. And then the truth and the clarity emerges. And this is something that you can do with sitting meditation, which is a slightly different practice, because sitting meditation can require quite a lot of discipline in a different way to dance. Dance has a different energy about it, because when you move and dance, yes, you still the mind and it quietens, and then you access different layers of your subconscious where new inspiration can come. And the beauty of the creative thoughts that emerge from your mind also then travel as you're moving through your nervous system. They travel right down through your body, so that then you're creating your thoughts and your ideas literally in process, in action, in present time, which is why you can be creative as well as be calmed by the movement and the dance. And when you're in this place, your breathing gets deeper, your nerves quieten down, you're more present, you're out of here. So then when you are in a place of needing to express yourself, if you are going somewhere, if you are at a social event even, your voice will emerge natural and untethered and what's the right word? It will just come naturally. This is huge. Voice is so... We want to be seen and heard, and we're afraid of both. We're afraid to be seen. We're afraid to be heard. We're not sure our ideas are going to be good enough. We're not sure we're going to be taken seriously. We're not sure that our appearance is acceptable enough, especially in this Instagrammed, AI filtered world. We all like to look nice. That's another thing. We all like to feel good. But there's the point where we overthink it. We're over worrying. We're not in our bodies. We're in our heads. I mean, actually, why does plastic surgery exist? I mean, plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery. Is that really going to ultimately help you feel better? Really? If the self-belief doesn't come from deep within you, if you have that deep self-belief, would you really put yourself under the knife? I'm going off topic here, and maybe I'm getting a bit, I don't know, controversial, but I'm just, in my part of the world, a lot of people are into plastic surgery, not just in my part of the world. A lot of Asian people are into plastic surgery, as if, having an operation to get Western eyelids, or to have your skin, or to slap bleach and cream on your face, on your skin, is going to make you more acceptable. That means you're not in your body. You're in here, worrying, overthinking. You're not in your body. And that's why, if you're going to be in your body in a way that's not competitive, in a way that has no rules, in a way that you don't have to wear a particular uniform, in a way that you can just do and be however you want. And it can be your practice. It can be your way to come back and connect back deeper into you, rather than staying up here. And it can be a lot more fun than just sitting on the mountainside, which is beautiful to meditate. Love it. I've done it in India, watching sunrise, watching sunset. This is something else. This is something else. And I talk about it with such passion and conviction, because actually, and I have mentioned this before, so many of us will watch Strictly Come Ballroom or watch shows on holiday and all that. But when it comes to actually participating, being a participant in your own dance of expression and enjoyment and freedom, how many of us have issues around that. Body issues, fearing this, fearing that. It's the oldest practice in the world. It's the oldest thing that brought humanity together for celebrations, for special events.
Thank you, Helen. I just wanted to drop in as we're running out of time for today's show. Thank you so much for sharing that message, which is all on the theme of really unleashing the power of women voices event. If you wanted people to connect with you, how can people connect with you?
Yeah, so I've got my Instagram down there, @neodance. It is a new account because the other one got disabled, so it looks a bit sorry for itself. So please do follow me on there. I will be posting more. And then also there's my website if you want to check out more. I've got some freebies on there.
Amazing.
Yeah, a few different things.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom today and inspiring our audience.
You're so welcome, Raymonda. Thank you as always for giving us women this voice and being a beacon of inspiration for us all.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Helen. This was Helen Sue, and as mentioned, do make sure you connect with our amazing speakers throughout their different platforms. And of course, all of the speakers that you have met today are going to be featured at the Women Thrive Summit in 2025. This is our annual Women Empowerment event that happens every year. And this year is going to be between 17th to the 21st of March. And this is a free event to attend. Make sure you head over to womentthrivesummit.com and join our waitlist already, because we have hundreds of people who are going to be attending this event and you will want to be there. We have more than 50 amazing speakers lined up. It's a whole week, entire live event where you can get to connect with our speakers, really be poured in. It's transformational, it's life-changing, and it's going to be so much fun. We prepare for it the entire year, and what you've seen today, if you felt inspired, motivated, and uplifted, this is just a small snippet of what you get to experience during the Women Thrive Summit. Thank you so much for the amazing speakers today who have contributed towards this event, shared their stories, been here to encourage others, and of course to our team who are behind the scenes helping us make it all happen. Thanks to all our production team and those who work behind the scenes of our incredible community. Thanks to you for watching, and I hope you share this to your audience who may need to hear some of these messages. So that's it from me today and our speakers, and we look forward to seeing you at the summit in March. Take care for now. Bye-bye.